Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In today's session, we are going to sort out our papers for the journal, and we are going to cut some slits into the pages to make up the signatures. I will show you how I've printed some background papers on some of the sheets, and for others we will be decorating that with some borders, and our own borders, that is, with scrap pieces of paper, and we will also be using some stencils to make some backgrounds and some stamps probably as well. So that is all in today's session. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, as this series, like everything else that I'm doing, is focused on the beginner, I'm going to try and do this without using my normal paper cutter and things like that. Yes, it is getting progressively more difficult to show techniques without using certain tools, so there might be times that I am going ahead and doing or using those tools. I had gone ahead and printed some paper that are commercially available. I've got these, I printed them on only copy paper, one-sided. My printer is playing up a little bit. You can probably see the little lines that's on it. It's not bothering me too much, but there we have those. Now for the kit from Digi and SVG Designs for You, I have gone ahead and printed some of their papers at the back of this. I'll show you the ones that I chose to print, and I kept a few blank so that I can actually go ahead and then just design my own background, or leave it blank for now. Now there's quite a few I have printed. Let me show you these ones. Lions, and I printed on the back. Rhinoceros, also printed on the back. They're not going to be in a direct or a specific order. I can't even remember in what order they appear in the kit anymore. Doesn't matter, it's your journal. You can do with this as you please. And then with the cheetahs, leopards, I think I printed that one. Zebras, there we have that. And of course the giraffe, we have that one. And we will be cutting that down. And with these, the buffalo, the line page, the guinea fowl, roycuts, ostriches and gemsbok. And then the array of, I call it the water hole, because you can see the water there. And then the springbokkie and the sheet, they are all blank. Now we will cut those out. These sheets, you can remember from last time, I had already printed these on cardstock, just for in case we want to make an extra pocket or a belly band or something. We've got some that are already printed on cardstock, so I will be cutting all of that out. Then the next few sheets, and I haven't made any extra, were the ones that we made in the previous session. And this one we have like 2 prints on one sheet, which is absolutely awesome, and very bright colors with the blue and the orange, red and yellow. This is just the green background with blue, yellow and white on top. I also have a few sheets here that's printed on normal card and copy paper, for in case we need something. Can't go without an African map somewhere in there. And then this sheet, I love the border specifically, and this is also quite colorful. I love the asymmetric pattern on there. Some blank papers. So let's get started sorting these out. I'm not going to cut everything on camera. I will be doing some off camera. Now these ones, you know, I never cut and throw away the pieces. I normally keep them. So let's get started. For cutting out, you need a metal ruler so that you don't cut into it. And we will be using our trusty craft knife, box cutter or Stanley knife again. We're going to start cutting this down on the edge, because this will be the size. And this is why we do this today, because we need to get going with our journal and we need the size. So we will work on the signatures today, and next time we will continue with making paper beads, which still needs to dry, that we need to decorate the cover with. And after that we will be completing the cover, put it all together and then continue. So there's one part done. I'm going to continue with this. I just need to put this out of the way so that I don't accidentally cut it while cutting down the rest of this. Just make sure your ruler is to the edge of your paper. It does take a little bit of time. These little, while we talk about it, these little ones, I normally keep it for stamping little sentiments on tags and little cards, the ones that really just need a word or two. Then the bigger ones, this is perfect to stamp little images on. It can also be used to make stamps. I had shown you in my other series where I show the tips and tricks how I use these type of strips to make those little additions, or I sometimes refer to it as bits and bobs for my crafting. And that way I get the most out of my stash. And not just that, I also then have a concerted effort in taking care of our resources, so I don't just throw away. I put these strips one side, and then when it gets to a point where it is now starting to overflow, I will then grab it and start stamping and have them ready so that I can use. Or sometimes, and it has happened before, that I will be in need of little sentiments, and that would then be the time that I grab these little strips to start stamping. There's a tiny bit showing of the set, and there we have it. So I will continue off camera now, just so that I do not bore you stiff and this doesn't become such a long video. I will be back shortly. So now that our paper is cut out, these are the ones that were printed both sides, and then this back here are just plain on the back, white in other words. We now have to fold this in half lengthwise so that it can open. Now I need to just decide which is going to show on the outside. For these ones, I think some of them I want to keep. Oh, my heart is so sore that some of this will be covered with adding goodies and things like that. So we need to get this folded in half. You can simply go ahead. There's a little bit of advertisement from one of the packs, which is not from DG. See, I've just used my nail there. You can use a bone folder. You can use the back of your scissors. You can use a card. It's up to you what you want to use. The cardstock I've used is not that thick, so it is easily folded. If you don't have African themed paper for the backgrounds, you can simply go ahead and keep them all white. That is truly up to you. I will still decide what I want to use where. I might fold it in instead of that way, fold it this way. And this one is a tiny bit skew. Let's just rectify that. There we go. And the giraffes. Really such awesome graphics in the set. Now, those are done. Now for these ones, see, I keep these strips. Let me just show you. One side it's white, the other are the printed sides. Now this can easily become a belly band or a little part of a tag, any such thing. So at this stage, I will not be throwing these away. They will just remain on my workbench. For these ones, before I start folding them, I would want to start with inking the backgrounds, maybe some corners, not everything, as I would want to add some of our ephemera pieces from the kit. I cut that out. I always keep the little bits so that when I need paper, for instance, if I want to use the little envelope, I can now glue that in after I folded it, scored it, folded it, all of that. Little tags, maybe I want to glue down the tags as a belly band, or whatever that might be that I wish to do. So all of that will happen at this point in time. I want to show you quickly with just one piece of our paper here. I'm just going to line it up so that I can cut it straight. Line it up with the blocks on my, you can make a pocket. You can simply rip it if you want, or you can cut it with a box cutter. Now to add that to the side, just make sure that these are upright. For this one, I will just fold it just so that I can have an idea. I will be doing this pocket like so. I just want to score this one just to have that extra bit of going to fold that in, and then we're going to glue it down. That will then give us a bit of a thicker, this looks a bit skew, and indeed it is. So just some glue stick, just gluing that down. can do the whole thing, and that way it's just that tiny little bit thicker for the pocket's sake before we actually glue it down in our journal. And I'm gluing down the opposite side. I just want to get this sorted so that I can see to where it should be glued. And the last bit I will do on here. That way it's in. So this is a tiny little bit thicker and we can pop something in there. And for now, I'm going to trim this down with a pair of scissors. And there you have a very easy tuck spot. And once you open it up, you will see that. And when we turn the page, we will have this one, where we also have the fish eagle here in the top corner. So let's get started with ink and some stencils. We will make a few borders as well. These ones are ready. Don't know the order yet. I will be using some plain paper in between, or cardstock, maybe some of those other printed ones. I'm not too sure. I'm actually not even sure how many sheets of paper we have here altogether. So as it turns out, we have 14 altogether, and I think that is fine. It's perfect. It's not too many, not too little. It's quite good. And that's 14 times 4, because once this is folded, we have the front, the two insides, and that, so it's 4 pages, in other words. So we've got 14 like this. So that's quite a number of pages. I'm just going to make sure that all my sheets are facing the right way, and then I'm going to flip them over and put them there. I'll start with the one that we just worked on. So here I'm going to start with I think I need some red or maybe yellow. Let's start with some yellow. Of course, we've got yellow there. This is Distress Oxide in Mustard Seed. So I'm going to start with that. Just changing the ink blending tool. When I use the flat ink blending tools, I normally use a piece of cellophane. You can see the shine of it here, where the light is falling on it, just so that I can tap on there before I add it to my project. If I was using the dome-headed applicator, I would not have necessarily touched it here before adding it. I want some yellow circles, just because we've got yellow circles. So just inking up the ink blending tool. Might not look like much, but I can show you there's quite a bit of ink on this. Just tap it there. And remember, this is oxide, so it is a little bit more opaque than Distress ink. Kind of like that. There's a bit of that at the bottom there, but it's not truly bothering me at all. If it bothers you, you can just camouflage that by adding a little bit more of this. There we have that. So one is done. Just a little bit something. We will then be adding some of our things in the pocket. There's space to still journal if you so wish, and we can now go on with another. I truly love this stencil. It's one of the mixed media sets from Tim Holtz, where you get a stamp and a stencil together. And I will be also adding a repeat at the bottom here, just to have the balance on the sheet. I know this is not yet done at this point in time. I just want to complete that circle. I like that. There we go. So we have that one. I will be using some. I want about 2 to make my own border with color paper. And then let's see what else is there. I want to use this strip at the bottom. I will now go on with Spiced Marmalade. Same thing, just inking up the ink blending tool. You can see that's complete circle that it makes when you dab it onto the cellophane. There you can see it if I put my finger underneath it. Now with this, I just want to take the other sheets away, and I'm going to do this plate. Let's do that. And we can extend it a bit. And yes, I know for now I am out of the view, and I just want to repeat it this side as well. There we have that one. And just turn this around yet again so that you have it in the right direction. So for this sheet, I am going to go back to the yellow, as I'm going to add another stencil on top. Wait, I've got some ink on my finger. I've got now these splotches here. Again, using mustard seed, I'm just turning this over so that I can get to this side. Just want a little bit more here on the edge. Right. Now we're going to use lumberjack plate, also in distress oxide. Just inking it up. Using a strip of paper here, as I don't want to ink up the rest of that, so I'll be just adding ink to that area. And I moved it, but I can line it up again, and then this side. And move it, line it up. Going to move that one a bit closer so that I can fit one more at the bottom to make that corner. And now this side. And I'm aware I am out of view. Just move that back in, and then you can see what I've done there. It's a bit of a smear there. It's not too much of a drain smash. I'm going to add that. There should be one more, so it's like that. Going to add this, and I moved it up, lined it up, and then I move it. So and then that one there. I'll put this little strip this side, and I move this one slightly. So there we go. And we're going to move this down. And there we have this one. And that's where I will be stopping with the ink. You can make this kit your own in whichever way you want. You can also use the previous technique that I showed you of making your own collage fodder. You can go ahead and stamp with little objects onto the paper with paint. You can use paint pens. You can use stencils and paint pens. Just bear in mind that it might run underneath if your pen is too saturated. You can also use stamping. And that's what I would want to do at this point in time. I want to show you some stamping on here. So on the back of this one, I'm going to use archival ink, and I think I'm going to use this leopard, could be a cheetah, and just ink that up. Just going to check that I have this upright and turn this over. Bearing in mind, let me just fold this so that I know where the middle of it is. That way I can get it centered. So I'm going to, oh, when I touched it there, with my ring finger. So let's just make sure that this is inked up well again, because I just made an imprint on there. And then just lining this up, I'm going to, it's an old wooden block stamp that I had for many years. Love using them in card making. I know I haven't gone ahead yet and taken the rubber off the block to save space. I will still one day get to that. I've got a few odd ones. Mostly I have rubber stamps or clear stamps. Self-adhesive clear and rubber stamps. There we go. Just making sure I get a good imprint. And there we have that one. This can now just dry for a second or so. And then I want to go ahead and do the same on this side. I haven't even made a border yet. For this one I will also stamp it in black. And this is a little elephant. And I'll do this one on this side. And there we have the elephant. Now you can go ahead if you want to and color this with color pencil, watercolors, alcohol ink, pens, whatever you prefer to use if you have those things. If not, then you can leave it as it is. Now, I want to also just add a little border to get this page not so completely stark white. So what I'll do is I will use one of our strips that we cut off earlier and just combine that. That will be perfect. I'm just going to trim the white edge. And there we have that. And seeing that I have the red here next to me still, the lumberjack, going to use the red. It's not the perfect color match. That is more a mahogany color, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to ink the edges nonetheless. And we can then add that to there. And it is a simple pocket without even thinking too much about it. We can even add it to the bottom, which is maybe what I want to do. I just want to mark the end so I can cut it there and then ink that edge before adding it, because we already had a pocket that is on this side from that collage fodder paper of ours. Just a tiny thin sliver of glue, and I'm using Eileen's. Use whatever liquid glue you have, or a glue stick for that matter. Use your favorite, use what you are comfortable using. You don't have to use the products I am using. Crafting is about getting comfortable with your own products in your stash. And if you are just setting out to get some, then it is a different story. You can then buy on other people's recommendations. There's a bit of glue now. Just while it's still wet, use a normal pencil eraser and get rid of that. So there we have a pocket. As we go on, we will still use these white sheets and decorate them even more. You can go ahead and make it your own. You can stencil very lightly on them. You can go darker, like the ones I have done. You know me by now. It's either vintage or very bright. I like what I've done here. You can go ahead and do some more with your sheets as you wish. It is yours. You can take liberty and create your own. You don't have to just do what I have done. So for today, we folded our sheets, we cut it out, we added a few belly bands here and there. I like to add those as I go on. So I will still finish this off before we complete our signatures. In our next session, session number 4, we will be looking at making paper beads. It is a bit time consuming, but it is also rewarding. And I hope you will join me for the next one. We will be using that to decorate the spine of our journal. Thanks for joining me. Go try this for yourself, get your signatures ready. And if you do, please tag Wawa Crafting on social media. If you want to see more content like this, please give me a thumbs up. And as always, I'll be appreciating it if you subscribe to my channel too. See you back soon. Goodbye.